Hey everyone, this is the STEM Sensei, and welcome to a channel dedicated to helping students tackle problems in math, science, and engineering. Today we're going to focus on solving a simple quadratic equation, f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 3, in under 10 minutes. Stick around, functions are easier than you think, and I'll guide you through a straightforward method to solve these type of problems. Let's dive in. First things first, we need to understand what a quadratic equation is and how it looks. And you can see that I've drawn a simple example on the left-hand side. Now that we know how a quadratic equation looks, we know what we need to go for when we actually solve the equation on the left-hand side. So let's understand what the parts of this equation actually are. The f of x, as you can see here, is what's known as the input. Meanwhile, the 2x squared plus 3 right here is what's known as the output. And just to avoid confusion, some people don't know what f of x means. You can actually rewrite that as just a simple y. You can also rewrite it as h of x, g of x, f of t, f of a, f of b, and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're writing the equation that we see here. One thing to note that I have to mention is the terms domain and range. Now, domain and range will not be discussed in this video, but all you need to know is that domain is what this is and range is what this is. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. The reason why we call this an input is because you can actually input a number, and I'll go ahead and do that right now. So let's go ahead and input 2, put the number 2. You can input this number and then solve or replace x with the number that you've inputted. I'll go ahead and move this up a little bit. All right, and so remember, we have to remember the order of operations, PEMDAS. And if you remember that, P stands for parentheses, and then E for exponents. We're going to do, 2 squared first, which will be 4. So 2 times 4 plus 3. And then next, we're going to multiply, which is the M, 2 times 4. And then add 3. So when we input 2 into our function, it equals 11. All right. So you see I made a little makeshift table. And so remember our x value was 2, and what we came out with was 11. So basically what that means is our x value is 2 and our y value is 11. And we can actually plot this on this graph that I created. So now that we have our point, we can kind of give an estimate of how this graph is going to look, or this function is going to look. And so we can kind of draw it a little bit and kind of give a rough estimate of the shape of it, of this quadratic equation. And so this point here, the bottommost point, is what's known as the vertex. And we'll talk about that in later videos. It can be a little bit more involved. I don't want to say complicated, but there's a little bit more steps that you'll have to take in order to find the vertex. But we'll discuss that, as I stated, in later videos. So now you can see that you know how to solve a quadratic equation, which is a type of function. Be on the lookout for more videos where I'll talk about how to solve more functions, more quadratic equations, how to look for a vertex, and also talk about more complicated things such as domain and range, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. I welcome all feedback. Feel free to ask me any questions. Also, any videos that you or any topics that you want me to discuss in later videos. All right. This is from the STEM Sensei. Thank you for watching.